私もっと絵上手くなるね。藤野ちゃんみたいに。
今日もとも私の背中見て成長するんだな。
Hey everyone, this is Julie and welcome to my SOFHAB review series. Today, I'm covering the anime movie Look Back as a birthday gift for Sylveon 14.
Yay!
And joining me is Rascal Entertainment.
Hello!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
So this movie is actually based on a one-shot web manga by Tatsuki Fujimoto, the author of Chainsaw Man. Mm-hmm. And it shows the growing bond between two isolated artists who share a passion for manga, and they eventually end up working together to create one. That is until tragedy strikes and competition kind of ruins their bond. Mm-hmm. But
before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and click into future podcasts and SOFHAB reviews.
And thank you so much for joining us today, subscribing, sharing our videos, commenting, everything you do. We appreciate you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes.
So we watched this back when it had a real big drawing on Prime Video. They were the first ones to have it available for us to watch in the U.S.
Yes.
And in case you're interested, it is still there, so you can go and watch this movie.
Yes.
If you haven't, after hearing the review,
you
decide you want to. So for those of you not familiar with Look Back, it's a Japanese animated coming-of-age drama based on, again, a one-shot web manga. And it was the first film directed by Kiyotaka Oshiyama, who also wrote the screenplay and served as a character designer as well as a producer by Studio Durian. So you have a Japanese cast, and the English cast we really can't find but 4 people. So right now we're going to give credit to the 2 Japanese voice actors, Yuumi Kawai and Mizuki Yoshida, and they're the 2 girls with a passion for drawing manga. And again, their partnership ends up turning into something not so great. Runs an hour, exactly an hour.
Yes.
And it actually made over $12 million at the box office here in the U.S.
Very much so. And this was, like you said, extremely popular at the time it came out because a lot of people could access it quickly on Prime, and we're going to see it at select, I think, film festivals or even theaters that decided to show it. And I think for ones who don't know the author, I think they were also gravitated towards the story of it itself. And if you know who he is and he's done Chainsaw Man, it's probably a little bit of a surprise if you don't know his other stuff that he's written something that's actually slice of life for a majority of it. Yeah. So it was kind of interesting to see that he had done something that was 2 polar opposites of each other.
But full disclosure, there is violence that takes place in this
yes,
movie.
Unfortunately.
So for those of you that think it's not a part of it, it is.
Yeah,
we don't recommend this for children. I would say teens and up.
Yes.
If you happen to be listening.
Yes. And the second thing I think would draw people to it is the life of people who want to be mangakas, whether you are male or female or identify as something else. I think is something that can be relatable to anybody who is an artist and wants to make their own stories, make their own comics, make their own manga, because both of them are in the same field of wanting to create stories, and usually have one's a writer and one's an artist. And
well, in this case, they have one's an introvert and one's kind of an extrovert.
Right. And it comes through in what they create. And I do like that within the background of the settings that they're at, and it's taking place in the city most of the time, and you see each other's apartments or hallways or houses or the schools, and you can get a feel of what their personalities are by the things they're surrounded by. Even if they don't say that much to each other or enough of the audience, or they don't have the monologues where you're hearing all their thoughts, you're still understanding who they are without them telling you how they are. And it's really refreshing considering how many movies want to tell you everything like you're not listening.
Now, someone may disagree and go, well, I don't think Fujino really is extroverted. And I say that in relationship to Kiyomura. And compared to her, she is an extrovert. Also, she was on the school paper. She was known for her drawing manga talent, and she was more outgoing. She talked to other people. Even though her focus was her art, she did talk to other people. Whereas the other girl, and I feel Kiyomoto, she just stayed to herself. She stayed in her room. She stayed to herself. She didn't want to interact with other people. So that explains why I use introvert and extrovert. Therefore, explaining so that no one asks me as not understanding the movie.
Right.
But they had different personalities.
Yes.
And it took one to get the other to come out of her shell
Yeah.
and come out of her room and to get involved in life outside of her room.
Yes.
Making her, to me, the extrovert because she got
just
her
not
to
an
do it.
extreme case like you
Exactly.
usually see where they're like SpongeBob style extrovert
And popular and everything.
Yeah,
no.
it was just more outgoing, like
Right.
you said. The way they also have them meet is also pretty interesting when they find out that they're actually classmates, and in a way they're sort of competing with each other without knowing it. And as you said, the rivalry ends up turning into a bond. And in one instance, she ends up finding the apartment she's in, and they usually have the typical thing where, like you said, introvert, sort of recluse, really messy house and everything. And one instance she notices that she has these stacks and stacks of notebooks, and pretty much all of them were references. And I don't mean like movie references or anything, but like when people take the time to draw stuff that they see in real life, or they're drawing anatomy or poses or something, so they have the practice and they have their own reference to use when they draw. And she had asked her, you know, what are you doing with these? Why are these all out here? And she said she wanted to throw them all away. And there's like stacks and stacks of notebooks, like maybe 4 each high. And it kind of made me a little mad because it's like, why do you have all those references and you want to throw them out? Then you have to go find them all over again.
Right.
But I had to like not get angry at them. But it's like, why are you throwing out? You worked all this.
Yes.
But it's to understand this was how her mind was working, and because she did not have anybody really positive in her life to help or reinforce or to encourage her, this is why she had this mindset. And so when she saw her writings, it was made her pay attention and seeing that there is something there that she can work with, even if she's not liking it at first. That one instance of seeing her writing is what makes her want to know her more, and that there's a kindred spirit with it.
And then they end up doing, or I should say, creating a manga under the name Kyo Fujino. And their work styles are different because Fujino really likes to work on her own.
Yes.
And it was a stretch for her to work with Kiyomoto. It really was. And they actually end up having a fallout later based on their differences. Also, as we mentioned, she had her come out of her shell. They started to go out. She dragged her by her hand, literally. Yeah. And they went to do things and to eat and so forth. So it was nice that Kiyomoto actually got to see things outside and live outside of her room. It was a wonderful part of it.
Yes.
One thing we were kind of confused with, and if you guys want to clarify for us, let us know in the comments, is that we thought they were a couple later on. But we keep seeing that the story itself doesn't paint them as a couple.
Okay.
So let us know if they were indeed a couple or just a strong friendship bond.
Right.
We would like the clarification, and we appreciate it.
Right, because we see a lot of people online more heavily shipping them, but we weren't 100% sure if it was canonical or not.
Right. So one girl decides she wants to go to college, and Kiyomoto, and Fujino's not happy because she wants things to stay the same, and she decides she wants to step outside of her comfort zone. So she signs up and goes to college, and as soon as this poor girl gets there, you got some lunatic accusing her of plagiarizing his works and takes her out and unalives her. And that was the most shocking part. And it was terrible. I'm sorry. I know this progresses the story, but we were just so unhappy to see that.
It felt
and
like
then you see how that event helps to continue to frame Fujimoto's attitude and her future
Yeah.
actions and movements regarding manga and her own personal life.
Mm-hmm.
And she ends up writing a story where she's able to stop this from happening. And it's really sad. And you understand why it's called Look Back, because that's what she names the manga.
Story, yes.
The story, right. But it's really deep. It was different from anything we'd ever seen. Didn't expect that in a billion years.
Right.
And Fujimoto continues to despair over losing her friend at the end of the movie. And it also kind of lets you know that sometimes people fall over things that really, oh my gosh,
It's like
are just not important.
It's like a cautionary
Right.
tale.
And it probably would have turned out differently if they hadn't fallen out with each other.
Right. There's even a point in there where you saw her have a what if scenario. Like, what if she either convinced her to stay or she went with her? And in that supposed version, she feels like she could have stopped the person or the lunatic, as you might as well call the lunatic, from coming and doing that. She helps to take them down. The other girl gets injured, but she is still alive, and she's taken to the hospital. And the two of them end up becoming closer friends by doing that because she saves her life. And it was like, in her mind, maybe that's what could have happened if she went with her or convinced her otherwise. She could have maybe prevented the outcome. And it is bittersweet because, well, you don't know if this is what actually would have happened or something worse would have been happening. But it was something slightly endearing because you saw she cared even with the falling out. Like, if she was there, she would have done what she could to prevent that and save the others that were there as well. So, like we said, it's a cautionary tale, basically, the whole movie.
And two more things I'd like to add. One, who in their life hasn't lost someone and imagined that if they could have helped and done something differently, it would have been different. And I think that's how everyone who watches this can relate to this story, because there are people that everyone has lost that you wish you could have done something about them leaving this earth. And you can relate to her and how she goes over in her mind and imagines these different things where she's still around and she helped her, and you feel for her, and at the same time you empathize and you understand how she feels, because again, in your own life you wish there were things you could have helped people to do differently or had things happen differently where they're here. Secondly, in the one-shot manga, it's also described as a horror thriller, whereas the movie is not. But in the manga it is, and I don't know if that's because it's a little more graphic maybe.
It's possible.
In the manga what happens versus what they show in the movie.
It's very possible, and the categories were changed or slightly updated so it will reach more people.
So in the English dubbing, we're only able to find 4 actors for whatever reason.
Because
As
it's only an hour.
Ayumu Fujino, you have Valerie Rose Lohman. As Kiyomoto, Grace Liu. And several different male roles, you have Ryan Colt Levy.
Yes.
So, if you've seen Look Back, let us know in the comments. What did you think of this? How did it affect you as far as watching it? Did you feel you could relate to it on many levels and some levels? Tell us what you think. We do know that Sylveon loved this, so if you have a minute, tell us what really drew you to this movie and you're loving it. If you haven't seen it, again, it's available on Prime Video to watch. Give it a watch, come back, and tell us what you think.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get updates on SOFHAB reviews and so much more.
Yes, and thank you so much for joining us today, especially in giving a birthday shout out to Sylveon below.
Yay!
And thank you so much, guys. As always, you are special. Love you, Sylveon.
I'm Rascal.
I'm Julie.
Have a fantastic day.
Continue to be happy, healthy, whole, and also wonderful. Specials. See you next time.